On the diamond, the Kirksville Tigers were at home facing Quincy Notre Dame in their second game in 12 hours and also of the season. Control was an issue early on for the Kirksville Hurlers as Dylan Lewis uncorks a wild pitch that scores Austin Ritter. More control problems as Johnny J wears one, and that might have stung actually with how cold it was out on Saturday. That brings in another Raiders run. The free runs continue to come across as Becker scores on this wild pitch. The visitors went up 7 to squat. The thing was the Tigers had their pitchers back when the ball was put in play. Landon Motley starts a 6-4-3 double play. That's if you're scoring at home or even if you're alone. Kirksville out of the inning. QND had some wildness as their own, and Brandon Beeler hits one out in front of the plate. The throw goes awry. That allows Dylan Lewis and Michael Crispin to come on home. Kirksville creeped back into it. However, QND was too much. They exploded for 10 runs in the top of the 6th as they went on to win this one big, 17-5. Just about 10 minutes from North Park, the Novinger Wildcats were playing their 3rd and 4th games in 3 days as they took on Buckland, Macon County, and Canton. We pick things up in Game 2 against the Canton Tigers as Colin Roberts is going to drive in Eric Reardon, and the Cats' comeback is on. Derek Parks lifts this one to left field, and it drops in, putting runners on first and second base and nobody out. Base is now jacked for All-State big man Hadley Roberts, and he's going to try his luck towards left field. This one's going to get caught, but that does allow Trey Brownell to come around and score as the Cats kept adding to their lead. Derek Parks would come all the way around to score as he is followed closely by Jeremy Allensworth. Hey, and Novinger went up and took the 9-8 lead, but Canton didn't come all this way to lay down. Loxton hits this one nearly out as it clangs up against the fence, and that would put runners in scoring position for the visitors. Kermodes would cap the Tigers' comeback with his 2-run single as Canton went on to win this one big, 21-9. It was a rough Friday and Saturday for Novinger as they dropped 2 more today to go along with the one on Friday to rival La Plata. BMC took Game 1 by a very football-like 14-3 for 2 schools that don't strap it up. Novinger will look to get back in the win column Tuesday against Highway 6 rival Milan. Elsewhere on the diamond, Truman State and Indian Hills were in action. For as good as the Bulldogs have been early on this season, their biggest Achilles heel has been holding a lead in the late innings. They gave up another one today as they led William Jewell 3-0 heading into the 8th inning, only to lose by a run. However, they pulled out a 1-run win in Game 2 as they held off another Cardinals comeback. Same 2 teams tomorrow for another pair. Meanwhile, the Falcons picked up a big doubleheader sweep today as they beat rival and number 8 ranked Iowa Western 6-5 and 6-2. Those 2 teams also meet again tomorrow for a pair starting at noon. Other Truman State action came off the court as the National Powerhouse volleyball team hosted their 2nd annual Wine and Art Night. The events have become big date nights in larger metro areas, and the Truman Spikers have capitalized on that here in Kirksville. They saw an increased participation the second time around. Guests were treated to a number of wine samples as well as showing off their art skills. Last year's funds went towards the team's trip to Ireland. This season, the ladies were working to raise some extra cash for the upcoming season.
It's really an opportunity for the girls to really interact with the community and people that come out for the event, so they get to know the community members that are here for the event, and the community members get to know them, and everybody has a great time.